armor pack, so he's a little bit more tanky. Sticky Bombs didn't quite connect, but they have control of the point, and they have a big advantage moving into this fight. The beam comes through, and it is so much damage. Of course, it does extra damage depending on how low the targets are that you're aiming it at. So when they are particularly low, it means that you're going to get a lot of value out of it, like Fleder did just then, picking up 3 kills.
4-man Bionade at the end there for Izzyaki, just allows the clips
to use now. And the bubble, as you can see, got burst almost immediately. A duplicate was used. We switched the angle, so we got a little bit confused in there for a second, but Fleder is over on the Winston, and now he's got the Primal Rage to see how good his techers are. Going in, swinging away, seeing if he can batter a couple of targets to the rest of his team, and he's got 1 corner. Mika will fall. See you later. Now he's back in the Echo form, so he can just lay down this.
He has to be finding value on this buffed version of Genji, and he hasn't really so far. Bebe used the Nano Boost in the previous fight too, so this is going to be a dry blade to try and save everything.
An insane Primal Rage by Fearless just removes QOQ from the fight. That's a high impact kill, but now we're going to see the Gravitic, or the ground, I should say. Not quite a Gravitic flux, but there we have it. A nice little sleep, but it's going to get cancelled out as Gushway's got his own Primal Rage. This guy is known as the Primal Blade in some regions because of how good he is on that Winston roll, but he's getting battered into the corner. Unfortunately, not able to do too much, and the Shanghai Dragons are going to take that round number 1 quite simply, it felt like.
Architect uses his blade.
Shanghai have control. I mean, that has really confused me, actually, as to how that's even happened there, but
go back in the replay viewer someone and figure that out. I mean, did Fearless pin him and he just got finished off? I literally do not understand.
That's a confusing one, but QOQ goes down as well, and I think that Ice Wall worked out as a bit of a deterrent there. Came out to try and protect the team, but didn't quite work out. Now Fearless swinging away indoors. Just building up. They haven't quite brought down Mika, but finally Mika will fall. A lot of kills going away as Shanghai here. Lip does go down, so they've lost their McCree, but
just blocking line of sight.
Yeah.
Working the angles.
Okay, Hangzhou Spark going to use their Amp Matrix super early, but that means that Shanghai are now going to use this! What an Earth Shatter! Straight into Grinovic Flux. Wow, that's a lot of damage, and that should surely just win this fight out automatically. It's hard to try and turn that one around. Bob is still there, just peppering them away, but does not matter. Lip rolls forward. Potential rookie miss. He does not miss at all. Hitting shot after shot after shot, and the Hangzhou Spark, I mean, they got the Blizzard to work with, but Adora goes down. A headshot and the body shot follow-up. He's going for more. Lip is absolutely unstoppable right now. Someone stop him, please! He's getting away with murder in the back lines, and no one touches Josh. No one touches. Also going to be used, but the Holt's going to be yoinking them forwards, and Architect's in a bit of trouble here. The Shields are going to be pushing them back for the time being, but Shanghai trying to find their opening. Still, the Amplification Matrix is going to give them a bit of a damage boost. But it looks like the Shanghai Dragons, despite that fact, are just working their way around, and they are definitely working around. Don't give him the hammer, Fleder. That is naughty. Okay.
Oh, come on. Oh, Godspeed, though, with a pick on Fleder. And now as QOQ comes back in after respawn, this is turnable. Fleder's going for the hammer kills and the disrespect instead of making sure that the point's completely locked up.
I mean, Fleder goes for the hammer kill. He might regret that, but QOQ came into the back of those respawns. Remember, he died at the start. It's the only reason he's back in here. Okay, the Gravitic Flux does connect onto QOQ, and that will put enough damage in to allow him to be removed from the rest of the fight.
Shanghai Dragons can still roll the second best team in Asia. There is a large gap between them. And as they come in now, immediate pick on Godspeed. So clean. Just the ultimate usage. Shanghai's positioning. They know exactly where they want to go and the pressure that they want to put out. But Architect is really not able to do anything on this Echo. I'm not a fan of the Echo in this comp anymore. I don't think it's going to work. And look at that time bank.
Realizes, okay, Lips on it. He has to try and take that jewel now. To go for the jump shot. See, he spots him. Nice. That's a little bit of confidence back. And that opening pick will allow Hangzhou a lot of space. They can start to move in a little bit more. They don't have to worry.
Look what Shanghai are doing, Brent. They're forcing the fight away from the point to buy time for their spawners to be able to come back. So even though the Hangzhou Spark are clearly winning this engagement, Shanghai are giving themselves opportunities to get back in. It's this great fundamental understanding. You don't want to take a fight when you're 5v6, so they force the fight elsewhere. And they're still making this scrappy and ticking off time.
They do, but the Hangzhou Spark have got so many opening picks, and a big part of this was Godspeed on the Widowmaker. Know what sites to kind of avoid, and it is these mind games that go on. Nice little headshot, Lip with the 2 taps. That's all he needs. An attempt here from Architect, and he does take him out. So the 1-for-1 trade, and that gives Godspeed much more space to work with. The long sight line, laying in the shots, laying in the lead from afar. Shanghai Dragons, though, have to try and take the nice accretion, cancelling Architect out of the gravitic.
There's not going to be a follow-up here, really, though.
Okay, questionable as well. QQ had to play out of line of sight, so we couldn't even pump damage in with his hyperspheres. He was scared about getting stunned out of it, and now that has given Shanghai an opening because there was no follow-up of that massive ultimate. Now, the players are still going to try and commit to this. Hangzhou going to be sending a couple of them in, but it does not matter. They've lost way too many off the back of it. Flutter's turret doing a decent chunk of damage, and they even stagger Godspeed towards the end of it here. And even that doesn't work when Happy's one of the best Widowmakers in the world. We'll see if Godspeed can turn it around, but Architect's doing a lot of work. Nice beam as well. Lip burned down, taken out, and the Hangzhou Spark, we've got so many picks. Not many ultimates used as well. This is beautiful for them. Architect using that duplicate. He's going to be moving over onto the Sigma now just to get a bit more damage mitigation, keeping them away, the accretion pushing them back, and there you have it. And the Ash just provides so much consistent damage to Dynamite as well. I mean, he's already built up the Bob, Josh. He's sending it straight into the back line. It is brutal. And the Hangzhou Spark are going to use the amplification matrix, but they don't really get too much done. However, Void will fall. It's a great start for them. Let's see if they can get anything else off the back of it. That's going to mean that Fearless is kind of left high and dry on the point. Can't find any pickoffs. In fact, he will fall. And it really feels like the Hangzhou Spark are just going to roll over them once again.
Yeah, this is a really nice play, actually. Very good execution from Hangzhou. They were careful with their engagement. They kept good.
And remember, this is the final fight for the Hangzhou Spark. Only 20 seconds remaining. Ziyaki uses the amplification matrix, but the first pick will go the way of Gushwei. Architect follows up with 2 more. Architect is playing out of his mind. The duplicate is ready and waiting, and this time he wants to have a go with the Ash himself. Bob built up off the 1 Dynamite. Are you kidding me? And it's going to be a duplicated Bob sat in the corner. He's having a merry old time right now, peppering them away from the distance. The Hangzhou Spark steamrolling it. The overtime is certainly ticking, but can the Shanghai Dragons turn this one around? They've got the Molten Core down, and Void and Flutter are available on the point. However, Flutter will fall. Now Lip is going to move over to the Doomfist to try and turn this one around. Is there no one that can touch? Surely. Finally, somebody does go down onto the point. Bebe just had to put his wee little boots on there just so that the overtime would keep ticking, but there will be no one else.
The Hangzhou's free, and he needs to be producing.
Couple of hot shots, but the shields are going to block a lot of the damage. Great hold by Fearless. Pulls them more forwards, and the Hangzhou Spark, they were too far forward. They bit off too much there. Bit of a chewing hazard, and they're going to be finding that they get this capture on point A very, very easily. Look at this stagger as well. I mean, Lee J. Con, how many times do you think this guy has been putting up performance after performance after performance? Gravitic Flux is going to be there. Architect, though, taken out of his own. He's not able to use his Gravitic Flux in time, but Gushwei is finding so many picks now. Beautiful from the Hangzhou Spark to try and stop this one, but as I say that, Shanghai rolling forwards. How were they able to find these picks out of seemingly nowhere? Just when you think the team fight is going their way, Flutter now with the Molten Core lays it down. The consistent damage over time is going to be burning away Hangzhou when they try and recontest this one. Not a tick gained though, as of yet. Hangzhou are buying enough time, and the spawners are going to start to come in, so the Hangzhou Spark have an opportunity here. Bob,
they certainly do. Lee Jae-gon's going to go down, and Hangzhou Spark have got a rally on the point as well, so this is their time to establish themselves.
Ultimate's starting to work here, but Gushwei does fall once more. I feel like the Hangzhou Spark are just trying to grapple control, and with those 2 pickoffs, Lip and Izayaki going down, QOQ rolling into the corner. That was so much.
Honestly, a great performance from Hangzhou.
We'll see if they can keep it up, because Shanghai are coming up to a bunch of ultimates here. Flutter fall quite low, but Architect's trying to get these opening picks, but Mika will be the one to go down, and now Shanghai are rolling forward. They have the rally, but it will not stop Flutter from falling. Great pick-off here for Hangzhou. Architect going to be duplicating over to the Sigma. Gravitic Flux in hand. He's trying to get it off. He finally does, and that will be a kill, surely. He's going to try and even this one out as Void will fall. Shanghai still want to try and fight this one, though. Lee Jae-gong, he went for a bit of a flank, the roundabout way to go about it, but I think this fight, is it winnable? Who even knows at this point? No one was on the card. No one was on the point, Josh. Where, somehow. He has a location. Oh, what is that? Are you kidding me? Okay, a little bit of a harassment coming out as well, but oh, wow, after those pickoffs, you got to be feeling bad.
What on earth was that?
Those kind of shots are just so good. thus far. You can see that Architect goes for the pulse bomb, but Godspeed wins the 1v1, and that is a key moment, potentially a big turning point in this fight. Ultimate's still going to be expended here, but Shanghai looking to see if they can turn this fight around. And they do get the pick onto Architect, surprisingly. What was looking like an unturnable fight suddenly might be in their favor as well, but that Gravitic Flux is so huge. The support line taken out, Josh.
Yeah, and Fleta, having won the 1v1 against Architect, now has free reign to do whatever he likes. So he comes and helps with the tank battle that's going on, finishes off all of that damage in a position to be able to attack. And attempt to defend this point B. All of the space, though. Oh, Godspeed. Destroyed by Fleta.
Fleta's, I mean, he has the Infrasight, so I don't know why Architect is walking into him there, but he gets taken out.
They're so aggressive. Brett, they have not even had an opportunity.
He's Dutch, yes.
Dutch, not Danish.
Fleta! Okay, getting away with murder here, and he's got a pulse bomb. Don't do it to him, Fleta. Don't do it to him. Blinks, the Immortality Field. It's gone. It's out of there. He's still got it, by the way. I'm just going to remind you, look at the aggression that's coming out from Shanghai. No reset opportunities here whatsoever. The zipping, the zooping, the blinks, backwards, forwards. He's breaking. And now with that opening pick-off, they can take much more aggressive angles. You can see them trying to punish QOQ off into the sidelines here.
That's huge, though. Bebe managing to take down Fearless while he used his supercharger. A small lapse in the shield, and Bebe takes advantage of it. That's huge. That's given Hangzhou a bit of an opportunity, but now they've traded mates.
Oh, no! Lip with 2 kills back-to-back. It's going to be on Godspeed to try and make something happen. Godspeed and Architect, dynamic duo. A nice pulse bomb from him. Brings down Izayaki, takes him out of the fight. It's going to be the clean tracking. Means it's going to be forcing out this Immortality Field, but it will be. Cart moves forwards and only 26 seconds remaining. Look at this, Fleta diving into the backline, hunting for an opportunity. That Discord Orb placed gently onto Fearless. Well, not Fearless, I should say Gushwei. Nice post bomb though from Fleta. Whips it around. He's going to find an opening pickoff. Still anyone's game as it's traded out. 1 for 1, pound for pound, flesh for flesh, but not finding really too much more. Godspeed's got to go huge here, but he gets brought down as well. Fleta still no one handling him. Keeping everybody in check. The respawns, though, are starting to come in, and a huge sleep dart from Bebe. That might just be enough to try and stop this one, to try and put the Shanghai Dragons in their place. They'll find out soon enough, though. The fight continues. Infrasight from Godspeed is going to be used here to give them a bit of an extra advantage, a bit of a boon in the battle. Architect still causing havoc, though. Still needs to try and get this pick up, but the heals are too good, Josh. The heals are too good.
Izayaki used his Transcendence in the middle of that fight, and still nothing.
Are you kidding me?
And they continue.
Single cooldown being used. The Hangzhou Spark are missing them every now and then, and that's been one of the small differences. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Izayaki just pre-fires the corner, takes him out. Lip with the headshot onto Mika as well. Hangzhou Spark losing 2 players, and then 2 just quickly turns into 5. It is a little bit ridiculous.
Perhaps it shouldn't surprise me how good. Yeah, but he never quite lived up to it.
Yeah, now it's. I mean, we're seeing it firsthand here. Yeah. Architect falls. Yaki traded though. He was caught out of position there on the left flank, as you can see. Oh, they're just waddling into the amplification matrix. I mean, it's brutal to watch. Hangzhou Spark committing ultimates though. They want to try and win this fight out. Gravitic Flux, Transcendence, everything's used, but they're finding pickoffs. QOQ finally with 2. The Gravitic Flux is huge, and Godspeed with a follow-up. This is what they needed. Fleta still, whenever he's alive, whenever he's on the map, it's a problem. They're going to try and turn it around though, you can see. Oh, that's a great pickoff for the Shanghai Dragons. What was looking okay for the Hangzhou Spark, but you got to remember they had this Infrasight. Ooh, Architect getting the better of him. Post bomb though from Fleta will even it out, and yeah, even if the Hangzhou Spark get these pickoffs, it just feels like the Shanghai Dragons are able to equate it. Yaki back in the fight using that Transcendence to keep his team alive, and still does high ground control. Look at them. No one is taking them away from it. Fearless has complete control, and finally he only dives down when he knows that the team fight is almost already won. They just surround, they divide, and they conquer, it feels like.
No one can
it's a showcase of just the mastery of everything. I mean, I hate to meme around and talk about the art of war, but high ground is important in the art of war. You know, if you listen to Sun Tzu, he does go on and on and on about it. The Shanghai Dragons seemingly have just a grasp on how to win every single team fight here. And Izayaki, he gets another pick off onto Architect. The 2 damage-dealing players of the Hangzhou Spark, the 2 players who are supposed to be evening it out, not able to do so. And the Shanghai Dragons finding so many pickoffs. so one-sided in their affair, in their conquest of this map, of this series. They will not allow the Hangzhou Spark to claim even a single map against them. A last-ditch effort coming out here from Architect, but he will not be able to touch